Hey! Want to learn English in a fun and exciting way? I bet grammar rules can get confusing sometimes, but today, we're going to dive into an amazing story that will make learning feel like an adventure. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so you never miss a new story. We share fresh, fun stories every single day. Ready? Let's go. The woman who decides to give random hugs to people on the street. It was an ordinary Tuesday morning when Mia, a 29-year-old woman, woke up with an unusual thought. She was feeling a bit down lately, life was stressful, and she noticed that people around her seemed to be tired or disconnected. It was the kind of thing she'd been feeling herself too, a sense of distance, even in crowded places. Mia worked as a graphic designer, but her job had been feeling less and less fulfilling. She longed for something more. Something real. So, as she sat there sipping her coffee and staring out the window, an idea popped into her head. What if I did something completely random today? Something that might bring a smile to people's faces. Something that could break the routine. The idea struck her like a bolt of lightning. She was going to give hugs to random people on the street. Yes, you heard that right. Random, free hugs. She didn't know why, but something inside her felt that it was exactly what people needed. In a world that felt increasingly disconnected, maybe a hug could be a small but meaningful act of kindness. Mia smiled at the thought. All right, let's do it. She grabbed a sign she found in her apartment, scribbled on it with a marker, "Free hugs, no strings attached." Then, she left her apartment and stepped out into the bustling streets of the city. At first, she felt a little nervous. Would people be weirded out? Would anyone even want a hug? But as she stood there, holding up her sign, something unexpected happened. People started to notice her. A man in his early 30s, walking by with his hands full of shopping bags, slowed down. He looked at the sign, looked at Mia, and then smiled nervously. Really? He asked, as if he couldn't believe what he was reading. Mia simply nodded, holding out her arms. Without another word, the man laughed and stepped in for a hug. It was brief, but as soon as he stepped back, he looked a little lighter. Thank you, he said, his face brightening. Mia's heart swelled with joy. She hadn't expected it to be so easy. She had just given him a hug, but it seemed to have made his day. Next, a woman in her 20s, walking with headphones in her ears, stopped when she saw the sign. She took out one earbud and looked confused. Mia gave her a friendly wave and repeated, "Free hugs." The woman hesitated for a moment, then smiled and shrugged. Okay, why not? She stepped forward, wrapped her arms around Mia, and they shared a brief but warm hug. That felt nice, the woman said, before putting her earbud back in and continuing on her way. As the day went on, Mia continued her little mission. Some people were skeptical, some were excited, and others were confused. But no matter their reaction, everyone seemed to leave with a smile. One elderly man, walking slowly with a cane, smiled and said, "I haven't had a hug in years, thank you." By the time the sun began to set, Mia had hugged over 30 strangers. She was exhausted, but also filled with a deep sense of happiness. What started as an odd idea had turned into something beautiful. She had made connections, even if only for a moment. And she realized that sometimes, a small act of kindness, like a hug, could have a much bigger impact than she ever imagined. What did we learn today? Life can be full of surprises, and sometimes, the simplest acts of kindness can create the most meaningful moments. Mia didn't just give hugs, she gave a little bit of warmth to the world. And as for English, you saw a lot of present tense verbs like is, decides, looks, and past tense verbs like held, smiled, and laughed. Plus, there were some useful phrases like no strings attached and something unexpected happened. Now, it's your turn. What's the craziest thing you've ever done for fun or to make someone's day better? Leave your comment below and let's chat. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and ring that bell. We'll see you in the next story.